charging up. Broccoli, vegetables,
Hey, spinach.
creatine shakes.
Go off.
Am I smooth? Am I smooth? You're so smooth on my end. Okay.
Okay, wait, it's getting better. It's getting there. Say something else.
Hello. Welcome to Get Lit Globe. My name is Mason Granger, the host of this here outfit. This is where we get deep dives into poetry videos. Like specifically, everyone's had those poetry videos pop up on their feed at some point in the past 5 years or so, but where those videos come from is a whole scene that has decades-long roots of live spoken word poetry, slam poetry, whatever you want to call it. And so what we're going to do, we're going to get to know who these people are, where they come from, their stories, and the stories that they're trying to tell. And so today's guest is Ebony Stewart, a Houston, Texas born and raised poet. Been touring for the better part of 15 years, I know. The 2018 Women of the World Poetry Slam champion, co-champion, but the champion of me. And we really want to know what makes her go and what makes her make other people want to go with her. So come with me and let's meet Ebony Stewart. Beaming in all the way from Texas. Ebony, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm all right. How are y'all?
We're doing good. It was about 5,000 degrees here in Los Angeles a couple days ago, but now we're down to a temperate 2. So things are getting better. What else can you ask for?
I live in Texas, so that's really cute to say.
I forgot about that. Okay, true. Where in Texas are you from? I know you're in Houston now, but where are you from?
Oh. Yeah, so I'm from Baytown, Texas, which is just basically a suburb or a hood, rather, as what I would like to call it, outside of Houston, but it's still Harris County. So Houston just swallows it all up. Nobody really make a difference of it.
And I got cousins who live in Houston, and they described it as like if you drop like a little bit of liquid on the table and just let it spread forever, like come back in a day, and that's how big Houston is.
It really is. That's such a good analogy.
Cool. All right. So we're going to get into poetry talks and such afterwards, but how we want to do this is I want to show you. Okay? So we're going to watch a video of Ebony Stewart performing here, and then one of our youth poets has a question in the form of a poem about your poem to you. It's a whole like Rubik's Cube of poeticness that we're about to get down with. So we're going to start with the video real quick.
To the white woman whose YouTube comment said she is tired of every other poem being about race or rape, I'm not sure if compassion fatigue happens because no one taught you how not to be the oppressor, or because no one taught you how not to be oppressed, but your comment reminds us that no one cares about us but us. You're right. There are no new topics, just old problems written into new pleas to a country that refuses to reckon with its own sickness. We Americans, land of the free, can only keep our motto if we keep our mouths closed, and isn't that what all rapists want? Control and a silenced victim. Do you realize that someone has stopped listening to this poem because I am first Black and also a woman? Black if I'm alive still, woman if I haven't disappeared yet, got anything anybody in the world might need except my voice, which means my body must be what's left for the taking. I'm not sure how we became treasures we can't afford to keep, but there are all kinds of women who have been raped, who still hoped their warm body's heart would stop beating, but still got up and went to work the next day. What we know is it's hard to comfort a girl that doesn't let on she's hurting. So praise every woman that speaks out against her rapist. Praise the ones who didn't but got their healing from the poems you are tired of hearing. How easy your life must be to only sit through the happy, while we try and believe the only things we need to remember about suffering is that eventually it ends. 3 times now, on social media, I have personally watched a Black person be murdered Because the United States is still making us pay for the way we look or the guilt it feels, but a person of color's only glory, hallelujah, is as long as we didn't die then, we didn't die. Do you realize that when our mothers say, I love you, she is also saying, stay alive. Come back to me whole, in one piece, and not a hashtag or another dead nigga's death you'll have to watch on repeat. Us poets, whose duty is to write about the times right, because we don't know when we too will become extinct. Black ink from black poets who dared to write about all this black death instead of hiding behind everything we're thinking. How privileged your life must be, that you can be tired of hearing poems about race or rape while we the poets write about an extinguished race and violated bodies that keep being raped. It's not hard to believe you're tired. But can you imagine how exhausted we the poets must be?
Make some noise for your sacrificial poet for this evening, Miss Ebony Stewart!
This is me right after seeing both of those two poems, and I'm so incredibly amazed and proud of what the poets were able to do with words. It really shows how powerful poetry is and how it can be a tool and an instrument. It really plays music from our mouths. And just to start out with my first question, I'd begin with Ebony Stewart's poem because I really resonated with the music that she was making with her words. And I guess what I have to say back to it is, our truth echoes off the walls of our trachea, making no escapes through the cobwebs. A corridor, stone cold, reflects endlessly into itself like a mirror, but rarely breaks the glass and suffers its way into Medusa's ears. A corridor, stone cold. Our voices be refugees in the hands of the empathy and ebony deficient. Our vulnerability turns weapon formed against us that does prosper and is painfully efficient. So how and why should we speak our truth that is valid and worthy to be expressed when no one cares to listen? That's the poem question that I got from her. Is such an amazing poem, and it's definitely going to inspire work later for me.
So I mean I know that you've been doing poetry for a while, but I would venture to say that is the first time that you've been asked a question in that form.
Yeah, for sure.
Word. So what would you say to Salome?
Salome got me emotional. First of all, I'm just like, wait a minute, well, I didn't know this was gonna be this kind of interview. Y'all should warn me. I think, first of all, thank you for that poem in the form of a question, for being so in tune and tuned in, and for just being interested and caring and being able to relate. My reason for writing mostly is because I wanna be remembered, and I wanna be able to remember myself in the same way that I am right now. In all of the experiences and all of the pain or heartache or struggle, I'm trying to write the triumph, right? I'm trying to become a part of the archives. And it's really important that even though people might not listen, or some people might not listen, the really clever thing about slam poetry specifically, or just like being able to do performance arts poetry, spoken word, is that people can't unhear it. It's something that's going to make stick, right? It's something that's going to be ingrained and going to be remembered. There's nothing they can do about it. So I really like the art form, to be honest with you. I really dig it. So yeah, I guess that's a little bit around about how and why, right?
I like what you said about writing the triumph. All right. And even when like clearly like with yourself and your work and just the work of so many other poets, it's heavy stuff. All right. It's the heavy parts of life are what like a lot of times get lifted out and onto the page because it's too heavy to just like sit inside you like that. But to still be approaching those heavy things from a place of like, yeah, all this, and I still went bong. All right. And like to put yourself on the throne above those things and like really, really get that out. Like I really like I like that. And then the other thing when you talk about to be remembered, this is the thing that you feel like you are, let's say, going for like nowadays in your writing that may be different from what you were going for when you first started out writing.
When I first started writing, I had no responsibility to my pen. I did whatever I wanted to do. Now I'm very much more forgiving of myself. Like I'm not writing to have the answer. I'm not writing to have the dopest bar or the nicest line. I'm not writing with the intent to impress anyone. I really am just writing it from what I know, what I'm experiencing, and what I hope to be relatable to other people. I'm more conscious in what I write because I know that words have weight and hold power. And so I just want to use the gift in the most appropriate form that is also respectful, that I do have control. I have control over what I write. The thing about that particular poem and that recording of Compassion Fatigue is it was the first time I had ever performed it live in front of anywhere ever. So it was really emotional for me, and I didn't know how I was going to feel because I'm a recovering perfectionist, right? But ultimately, there's going to be some times where I'm going to make the mistake, right? From time to time. And I think that's really brilliant to accept that it's not going to be perfect and it don't got to be.
But yeah, okay, so another follow-up. So a thing that I noticed about that poem is that it was written that performance, that video is from 2016. And I know TG at Texas Grand Slam is in October. And in October 2016, that was a whole nother world ago. All right. And so having written poems pre that, like what's the experience of seeing a poem that you wrote, 2016 and prior, and then watching it today and seeing not only does it still have relevance, but like the meaning of the poem itself has shifted with like the times, or the times have shifted and put more meaning into the poem even after you wrote it and we're done with it. Can you just speak to what it's like seeing that happen?
Yeah. When I write, Mason, I really want my work to have longevity. It's really important to me. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing with the climate and the topic, right? That it keeps being relevant, but I'm not the only artist whose work has done that, right? We have James Baldwin, Isaac Shenge, we got Nina Simone. We got people who they're legends and their work has done that. And I don't know if I feel like that's necessarily a question for me or for something that our, government or the systemic powers that be need to answer, right? Like, why are those things still so relevant? But when I hear it, I think that it, right now, after Breonna Taylor and, the whole George Floyd situation, it murdering, I really honestly feel like I don't know if my work does what I want it to do. I don't know how much closer to God I can write, if that makes sense, right? Like I don't feel like it's doing the thing all the time. That I think, it's gonna resonate and more people are gonna hear this and it's gonna change a bunch of stuff. And I ebb and flow. It doesn't always feel like it's making the difference or the impact.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Well, one I know we got one in Salome. All right, you got one. Salome's 14 and has a lifetime of churning out Ebony Stewart inspired bangers ahead of her. So.
Yeah, I love it. Chops on me. Chops.
Well, yo, thank you so much for your time, Ebony, and your wisdom that has been accrued over time and over a lifetime of poetry, and like being so careful in how you put that out into the world. And I'm glad that the equivalent of B-Fran, I think, has taken a lot of us aside back in the day, and so
Right.
cheers to them too. Cheers to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate this. This was dope. This was super dope. I hope to like be able to come through in person for sure.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. All right, Ebony, well, yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Farewells. And that would be Ebony Stewart. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of Get Lit Globe. This is going to be a monthly affair here. And so be sure to like, comment, subscribe, send passenger pigeons and bitcoins our way. Whatever you got to do to stay in touch is going to be coming to you monthly, and just really showing you that if you want to know what the cultural norms are going to be 10 years from now, go to a live poetry event today, and we're going to be just bringing those people who are on that leading edge to you month after month. So stay tuned. My name's Mason Granger. Get Lit Globe. See you next month.